Alright, hello! Thank you for joining me in this workshop on remote and online learning. My name is Nia Huynh, and I am a 4th year biology major peer mentor. In this workshop, we will cover not only a guide and tips for online instruction, but also several resources that are available to you as a UCR student. With the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we here at UCR understand that many students have been personally affected in different areas of their lives. The shift to online learning has undoubtedly changed the landscape of education, so we want to provide you with all the information and resources possible to best support your academic career. For this fall quarter, instruction will be fully online with very few exceptions, but campus resources will remain accessible online as we will cover later in this presentation. In this presentation, we will be covering several topics, including proper Zoom etiquette, tips for using Zoom, general tips for online learning, resources available to you through UCR, and how to keep posted on the latest UCR news and responses to COVID-19. To begin, it is important to keep proper etiquette in mind when attending classes through Zoom. While you may be attending class from the comfort of your home, you are still expected to treat class time with the same respect as if you were in an actual lecture hall. Use your best judgment in selecting a proper study environment, and be sure to keep your microphone muted to prevent background noise or echoing. Unless your professor specifies otherwise, it is best to use either the Raise Hand feature or the chat box to request permission before speaking. Additionally, be sure to re-mute yourself after you have finished speaking. While it may be tempting to only watch and listen to the lecture, we also encourage you to actively take notes via pen and paper or your method of choice. This active listening and note-taking will promote retention and help you remember topics better, and will also be important for review in case your professor does not post their videos or slides online. Finally, we encourage you to turn on your video during lectures if possible. Many teachers rely on nonverbal cues from students to guide them on if they should speed up, slow down, cover a topic in more detail, or otherwise, etc. Without live instruction, teachers lack this guidance unless students enable their cameras. When using Zoom, it is important to make sure that your audio and video settings are properly set during class time. To turn on and off your audio, click on the microphone icon as shown here. To turn on and off your video, click on the camera icon as shown here. When you're not speaking, please, as we mentioned before, keep your audio muted, which will be indicated by a red slash through the microphone icon. When you first install Zoom and log in, you should be prompted to enter your display name. We strongly recommend that you use your full name as your display name, as some classes may use this to track attendance or otherwise keep track of participants. If you do need to edit your name after joining the meeting, click on Participants. Then, hover over your name and click on More. Choose Rename, and then, as we mentioned before, type your full name, including your first and last name. If you would like to send a message to either your teacher or the entire class without interrupting by unmuting yourself, you can click on Chat to open the chat box. In the box that opens, you can select which user you would like to send your message to via this drop down here, whether it would be your professor, your TA, another student, or the entire class. If you would like to raise your hand to speak during the meeting, click on Participants, then Raise Hand. Once the teacher has called on you and your question has been answered, click on Lower Hand to make sure this icon goes away. Now that we've covered the basics of Zoom, we can move on to some more general tips for online learning. As I stated before, while it takes place in a different environment, online learning has all the same importance and expectations as regular instruction. While they may be more understanding due to the impacts of COVID-19, professors still expect you to prepare for their class and devote significant time to studying, so be sure to maintain self-discipline and avoid distractions. Similarly, a new environment comes with a new set of terms and phrases, so be sure to familiarize yourself with common terminology, which you can see by visiting the link on the screen. If you don't have reliable access to internet connectivity or a usable device, UCR may be able to provide you with a laptop and/or Wi-Fi hotspot device if you apply. You should also prepare a backup plan in case your internet goes out or your device breaks down, such as locating the nearest available free Wi-Fi or borrowing a device from a friend or family member. Because of the pandemic, several companies are also offering discounted or higher speed connections for their customers, especially students. Check with your internet service provider and phone network for additional accommodations and responses. If possible, you should aim to establish a dedicated study space that you use solely for attending classes and studying. By associating this area with educational tasks and keeping it free of distractions, you will be able to be more productive and efficient. Before the quarter begins, read through the syllabus of each class, which should be available via iLearn. Identify key dates, course expectations, grade breakdowns, and other noteworthy topics. We also recommend that you save a copy of the syllabus to your device so you can refer back to it even offline. One of the biggest contributors to efficiency is creating and maintaining a solid study plan. At the start of each quarter, use either a physical or virtual calendar, such as Google Calendars, to plan out obligations and budget time for classes, studying, and extracurriculars. Do your best to stick to this, but do remain flexible if something comes up, as long as you return to your routine afterwards. Additionally, if you want clarification on a subject or feel overwhelmed, don't be afraid to reach out for help. You can always email your instructors for questions specifically about their course or your grades, or you can make use of the SI leaders and tutors available at the ARC. In order to succeed, it is essential to not only retain information, but also to gain a deeper understanding of it. To do this, you should practice the 3 R's: review, revise, repeat. Review refers to going back to the material covered in lectures and making sure that you gain a proper understanding of it. If, during your review, you then find some mistakes you previously made or some new knowledge, you can then revise your understanding of the subject. After this is done, you can then repeat and continue until you develop a better and complete understanding of the topic. Develop strategies to best suit you, but you should be regularly working through material multiple times before finishing with it. While solid dedication and long stretches of studying are valuable, it is also important to take regular breaks to maximize your productivity and avoid burning out. Experiment to find something that works for you, but one popular method is the Pomodoro method, which is shown in more detail in this graphic or via online guides. The Pomodoro method essentially refers to taking staggered intervals of studying followed by several regularly spaced breaks. This then is followed by a longer break, after which you can repeat the cycle and start from the beginning. In addition to personal studying, it is also important to actively engage in your learning by participating in online discussions, whether that is during Zoom meetings, in discussion sections, iLearn postings, or something else. This allows you to verify your ideas and understandings as well as your methods by comparing it to others and receiving feedback through their perspectives. Finally, it is super important to keep yourself motivated. Your time at UCR isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. If you spend all your energy on the first leg of it, you'll probably see good results at first, but this will probably burn you out as you continue. Be sure to take time for yourself, develop a hobby or something that you're passionate about, and maintain discipline when you're studying, but at the same time, don't be afraid to reward yourself for completing a task and excelling at it. Taking effective breaks is about more than just the timing and duration. What you do in that time is also just as important. Make sure that whatever you do isn't too time consuming and that you will be ready and willing to jump back into studying afterwards. If done properly, breaks will allow you to rejuvenate yourself while also not growing overly distracted from your original productivity. As mentioned previously, while UCR will be closed physically for the fall quarter, many of its resources are still available online or via phone consultation. UCR's Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS, is providing services via phone and video conferencing. Walk-in appointments are not available, so be sure to call for consultations at the number provided on the screen. Similarly, the WELL is now offering workshops online. You can visit their website at well.ucr.edu or their social media for more information on specifics, dates, and classes. The Student Disability Resource Center also remains committed to providing accommodations for any students who require them. Individual meetings are available through conference calls and online platforms and can be arranged by the contact information provided on this slide. Similarly to the WELL, the Student Recreation Center will also be offering online classes via recreation.ucr.edu. Information can also be found on their social media, such as via Instagram at UCR-SRC. Student health services will remain open following the hours posted on their website, but these hours are via appointment only. Walk-ins are not currently available, so please call the number provided to schedule an appointment or speak with a nurse about any COVID-19 symptoms. Additionally, after hours or during weekends, you can also call the 24/7 nurse line to speak with a nurse regarding any symptoms or possible concerns. For any other questions or concerns about COVID-19, UCR's Environmental Health and Safety Department has provided a frequently asked questions section which can be viewed at the link on this slide. Additionally, if you believe you are experiencing any COVID-19 symptoms, you can use the self-assessment tool provided at the link to determine if you should get tested, visit a healthcare center, or social isolate accordingly. In addition to these health resources, UCR libraries now also offer contact-free curbside delivery as well as expanded access to UCR books and digital materials. You can visit their website on the slide for more details. Our pantry will also be continuing operation throughout the COVID-19 pandemic by appointment only. Our pantry is essentially an emergency food resource for any UCR students who are currently experiencing food insecurity. Food resources provided include rice, pastas, canned foods, produce, and more. To schedule an appointment, you can visit their website at this link or email them at ourpantry@ucr.edu. In addition, you can also access several other virtual resources available to UCR students. All UCR students are eligible to download Microsoft Office 365 applications such as Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and more on up to 5 devices. You can also use UCR's Virtual Private Network, or VPN, to access secure campus resources, files, and applications. If you log into the library, for example, you will be able to access resources such as ebooks, articles, journals, and more. If you need to use software for a course you are taking, you can also access UCR's Virtual Computer Lab for licensed softwares such as Microsoft Office 2019, RStudio, and more. To view guides for these virtual resources and more, visit keeplearning.ucr.edu/tech support. You will also be able to find other resources such as additional tips and tutorials for remote learning. To stay updated on UCR's latest news regarding COVID-19, as well as any updates, you can visit ehs.ucr.edu/coronavirus. If you believe you are experiencing any respiratory illness or other COVID-like symptoms, as mentioned before, you can call the Student Health Services 24/7 hotline at the number provided. Just as some final notes, it's critical now more than ever for all of us to take care of not only ourselves, but also others. Please don't feel afraid to ask for the help you need or even want from your instructors and others on campus or even your friends and family. Connect with those people you care about, and as always, maintain your physical health by resting, exercising, hydrating, and more. Finally, please remember that just as you're currently learning how to adjust to remote learning, teachers and other instructors are also adjusting to teaching online. We're all going through this transition to online learning as well as the COVID-19 pandemic together, so just always be conscious of this and always be excellent to each other. I'll end this presentation by leaving you with some final additional resources, some of them referenced throughout this presentation as well as some additional ones. Thank you so much once again for attending this virtual workshop, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via email at cnascholars@ucr.edu. Thank you.